Sambhavi, Dr. Sambhavi,
Yes, sir.
you may start now, I think.
Okay, sir.
3, 3.
A very good afternoon and warm welcome to all the distinguished guests, speakers, esteemed speakers, faculty members, students, and dear friends. On behalf of Department of Statistics, University of Lucknow, on this winter afternoon, I take this opportunity to welcome you all to this today's interactive webinar on trafficking of women and children, child labor, and forced begging. With the blessings of our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor Alok Kumar Rai sir, and Dean Faculty of Science, Professor Tripta Trivedi ma'am, this webinar is being organized under the Mission Shakti campaign, an initiative by the UP government. Nari Suraksha, Nari Samman, Nari Swavalamban. The campaign, whose start coincided with the commencement of the Navratri festival dedicated to Goddess Durga on 17th of October this year, is focusing on ensuring the safety and dignity of women and girls with a stern warning that perpetrators of crimes against females will be dealt with an iron hand. I now invite the head of the Department of Statistics, Professor Rajiv Pandey, sir, to welcome the gathering. Over to you, sir.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Sambhavi. It is an honor and privilege for me to welcome you on behalf of the Department of Statistics, University of Lucknow, to this two-day interactive webinar on trafficking of women and children, child labor and forced begging, which has been organized in lieu of Mission Shakti launched by the government of Uttar Pradesh for women security with the hopes of guaranteeing respect and safety to every woman of UP. I wish to extend my deep appreciation to the government of Uttar Pradesh and the administration of University of Lucknow for promoting gender equality and empowerment of women. I am delighted to welcome all the distinguished guest speakers. I thank the experts for accepting our invitation at such short notice and taking out time from their hectic schedules. Thank you, ma'am. I have long association, ma'am, with the anti-rape activist and founder of PARI, your good friend, Ms. Yukta Bhagia, since 2006, ma'am. When I joined Parvartan in November 2002, that time I was in Kumai University and I joined with other members of Nainital and other Almora districts persons, and we were working. So since then, I am associated with uh, Yogita ji, and due to some health issue on her eyes, today morning itself she informed me today that she is not able to join. She may join us tomorrow. This is the so our guests are representing a variety of national mechanism, women's commissions, research institutions, women awardees, and non-governmental organizations. I also warmly welcome all other participants of his webinar from all parts of the country. We have spent decades talking about the importance of gender equality. And while we talk the situation of women, uh, the situation of women and girls in our country and state, it is at a risk of further deterioration. As a statistician, I wish to bring this to everyone's attention that while women are central to community, resilience and spend 90% of their income on the family. Data demonstrates on humanitarian assistance than men due to barriers they face in assessing income generating opportunities. We have seen commitments from the government to address this issue, and national institutions, governmental and non governmental, are taking the lead in providing shelter and relief for women and girls at risk and surviving gender based violence. Our guest for today, Dr. Chaluwali Khanna, also believes that mostly always women who have the strongest at quest influence on us through different roles performed in our life as mother, as teacher, etc., and will throw light on empowerment of women and their contribution to the society. Unlike other departments, ma'am, our department has hosted a 2-day webinar to promote Mission Shakti, and we are honored to have some of the most distinguished women of our country on this panel. We believe that only dialogue is not the only course of action, and thus we have guests with us who have worked for women rights and have set up examples that are inspiration. With this, I am confident together we will build a healthier, safer, and fairer world in the days to come. Thank you so much, and I wish you a very productive discussion. Thank you once again. Over to Dr. Sambhavi.
Thank you, sir. We are indeed fortunate enough that today we have with us Dr. Charu Wali Khanna, an advocate of Supreme Court, president of the NGO SAFMA, former member of NCW, and human rights defender. We thank you, ma'am, for sparing time and joining us today. I now invite Ms. Meghna Atwani, research scholar of the department, to introduce our distinguished speaker and to welcome her. Over to you, Meghna.
Meghna, your voice is not audible.
Hello.
Yes, Meghna.
Yes, yes.
Am I audible, sir?
Yeah.
I am really honored to introduce our guest for today, Dr. Charu Wali Khanna, PhD in Law, Advocate Supreme Court, President NGO SAFMA, former member NCW, and human rights defender with extensive experience in the field of protecting and promoting right of marginalized sections of her society. Her latest publications include Study for NHRC, Status and Functioning of Local Complaints Committees under the Sexual Harassment of Women at Workplace, Prevention, Prohibition and Redressal Act 2013, and Awareness Levels among Women in the Workforce. The second one is Sita Returns, Modern India Through Her Eyes, and Sex and Harassment, co-author among others. During the COVID lockdown, Dr. Charu also launched a YouTube channel, Parenting Tips with Charu, where she encourages open communication. Her channel even discusses tough topics of sexuality to facilitate better parent-child interaction, leading to a happy home. I am thankful to her for accepting our invitation at such short notice. And ma'am, you are very sweet. And once again, I welcome you. Over to you, ma'am.
Namaskar. Thank you so
Namaskar.
much. Thank you, Dr. Pandey. I must appreciate the sensitivity and compliment your department for having taking 2 days for this program.
Yeah.
And of course, the best persons, you have the best speakers. I'm saying that because I'm personally, have connections with all your speakers.
Yeah.
Not only Yogita ji, who has referred me, and I mean, passionate about, rape against women
Yeah.
in prevention action. And even I think tomorrow's speaker, Rashmi Anand, I have
Yeah.
written 2 books with her,
Yeah.
Haunted and another one. So I think you have a wonderful panel, and I hope I'm able to guide. If we cannot change thinking, we can guide and open the minds of the students on this topic of gender-based violence. So ma'am, will you share the presentation with me? Our topic is trafficking, child labor and forced begging. आप सबको लग रहा होगा कि ये बड़ा भारी भरकम सा टॉपिक है, but we are covering दुर्व्यवहार, बाल श्रम, बंधुआ मजदूरी और मानव तस्करी, जो बहुत ही संगीन जुर्म है, and they're very, very, very serious issues. I also want to, compliment the UP government on taking this task of trying to create some kind of gender sensitivity through Mission Shakti, because it was launched on Navratri Day, women are believed to be symbol and strength and considered sacred. However, as a woman, I would say I'm a little cynical. ये बातें बहुत होती हैं कि दुर्गा, सावित्री, सरस्वती, ये सारी जो all the goddesses, they say defense is in the hand, Lakshmi, money, wealth, all the ministries are in the hands of the goddesses. But जो असलियत में जो ज़मीनी तौर पे जो दुर्दशा हो रही है, उस पे मैं चाह रही हूँ कि थोड़ा सा संवेदनशीलता आप लोग दिखाएं. And I want to, if you'll see, I'm talking about male accountability matters. We have to stop putting the burden of society on women. हमेशा कह रहे हैं कि लड़कियों को बताते हैं कि सिर नीचे करके चलो, कपड़े ऐसे पहनो, ये करो, वो करो, self defense classes करो to secure yourself. It is the state's responsibility to ensure the security of women. But ये state कैसे करेगा जब तक जो समाज है उसमें ये संवेदनशीलता नहीं आएगी. So I think हम थोड़ा सा burden महिलाओं से हटा के समाज और पुरुषों पे विशेषकर ये बर्डन डालना चाह रहे हैं. Why I'm saying men, I think we must really appreciate our honorable Prime Minister. उन्होंने भी 15 अगस्त पे कहा था, माता पिता को ये एक संदेश दिया था, एक हिदायत दी थी कि आप अपनी बेटियों को मत पूछिए कहाँ जा रही हैं, कब आ रही हैं, कितने बजे जा रही हैं, अपने बेटों से पूछो. So I think men accountability matters. उन्हें हमें किसी तरह से जिम्मेवार और we have to make them, a kind of responsible. दूसरी बात मैं ये कहना चाह रही हूँ, can we take the next slide please? हम जब ये ट्रैफिकिंग की बात कर रहे हैं, एक बड़ा भारी भरकम सा शब्द है, लेकिन मैं आपको थोड़ी सिंपल वर्ड्स में इसको एक्सप्लेन करना चाह रही हूँ before I come to the law, because your other speakers are going to talk about personal experiences and actual ground level action. But what I am sharing with you is the law. So when we talk about trafficking, please don't mix it with traffic lights. लाल बत्ती पे कोई नहीं रुकता है यहाँ हिंदुस्तान में, इसीलिए इतना बढ़ा दिया इनने, the ट्रैफिक का वायलेशन पेनल्टी. बट ये अलग तरह की ट्रैफिकिंग है. In this there is the key words are violence, deception, coercion. एक हिंसा है, एक फ्रॉड है, एक धोखाधड़ी है और एक जबरदस्ती है. ये बात बहुत जरूरी हमको समझने के लिए, क्योंकि और दूसरी मैं आपको चीज बात करना चाह रही हूँ कि लड़कियों को ग्रूम करते, कहते हैं लड़की मान गई थी. If you'll see in sports stadiums and all, there's a term called grooming. I want grooming for sexual exploitation. मैं वो शब्द को आपको उस पे जरा विस्तृत में जानकारी देना चाह रही हूँ. When you're in a relationship of trust, or let's say a uncle and even a father-daughter relationship. आजकल lot of cases of sexual abuse by fathers are also coming up. So when you're in a relationship of trust and that person misuses that trust to sexually exploit you, in that is, and forces you into sexual exploitation or traps you into forced labor, it is also a very it's an offense. हमने देखा गया एक मानव अधिक, जब मैं राष्ट्रीय महिला आयोग में थी, हमने ट्रैफिकिंग और माइग्रेशन पे, माइग्रेशन इज अ वुमेन्स राइट, इज एवरी हिंदू। हम अपने बड़ा अच्छे अवसरों के लिए हम बड़े शहर में जाते हैं, विदेश भी जाती हैं, वो आपका जो पलायन है वो आपका अधिकार है। लेकिन जो पलायन जबरन किया जा रहा है, लोगों को पकड़ के, बच्चों को पकड़ के, छत्तीसगढ़ के बच्चों को लाके यू नो स्लेवरी में डाल रहे हैं, बेगिंग में डाल रहे हैं, भिखारी बना रहे हैं, या महिलाओं को पकड़ के, जैसे ब्रिक किल्न्स जो है उत्तर प्रदेश में, मथुरा के पास काफी सारे वो ईंट बनाने के काम में इनको अलग अलग जगहों से महिलाओं को लाया गया था, उस पर हमने किया था। सो when we talk about trafficking, हमें लगता है कि अंतर्राष्ट्रीय स्तर पे है, अंतर्राष्ट्रीय स्तर पे हो सकता है, लेकिन ये आपके देश में भी हो सकता है, एक समाज में भी हो सकता है। अगर आप देखेंगे राजस्थान में मीडिया कम्युनिटीज है जो अपने ही समाज की लड़कियों का उनका शोषण करा जाता है। मैं आई टेक दैट अप इन देवदासीज। तो जो हम बात कर रहे हैं ट्रैफिकिंग में, वो हर तरह का है, यौन शोषण है, लेबर है, जबरन श्रम करवाना, बेगिंग, भीख मंगवाना, क्राइम, ड्रग से रिलेटेड है, डोमेस्टिक सर्विट्यूड एंड ऑर्गन रिमूवल। आपने देखा सुना हो गया कि छत्तीसगढ़ में, अब छत्तीसगढ़ इवन बीड़ में, उनकी जो महिलाओं का वूम जो है, यूट्रस जो गर्भ का जो है, गर्भदानी को निकाला गया था क्योंकि वो काम कर पाए बिना मतलब के, जब कोई बीमारी नहीं थी। सो एनी काइंड ऑफ ऑर्गन रिमूवल इज ऑल्सो एन ऑफेंस। मैंने, अगर आप देख रहे होंगे इस प्रेजेंटेशन में, लाल रंग में इसको शादी को अंडरलाइन किया हुआ है। दिस इज लाइक अ हॉट टॉपिक नाउडेज एंड वेरी because women are being trafficked for marriage. They're even being sent overseas. And a lot of channels this is happening via Lucknow, Hyderabad, even through Nepal. अगर आप हरियाणा क्षेत्र के बारे में जानते, राज्य के बारे में जानेंगे, तो हरियाणा में जो महिला पुरुष औसत है, द मेल फीमेल सेक्स रेशियो इज वेरी लो, महिलाओं की कमी है। तो what is happening is that they are trafficking women from Assam, from Orissa, to marry them. And it's not that they're treating them well. I mean, you're fine, it's good, intercaste and interreligion marriages, I'm all in favor of them, myself having done one. But I feel that what is happening is that they are just treated like they're just used sexually by not only the husband's family, the husband's brothers. So this is what I want to put, the whole perspective of trafficking, which encompasses labor, child labor, begging, sexual exploitation. तो ये अगर आप इसको समझेंगे कि इसमें क्या क्या सम्मिलित है, फिर उसके आगे मैं आप कानून की बात करती हूँ। मैम, may I have the next slide, please? Next slide. देखिए, जब हम कानून की बात करते हैं तो सबसे पहले we have to start from the Constitution of India. All our laws, all our rights, they flow from the Constitution of India. And you all are aware of Baba Saheb Ambedkar, who was the chairperson of the drafting committee, who himself had gone through, been subjected to so many atrocities. उनने खुद एक दलित होने के नाते कितनी दुर्दशा देखी, कितनी उनपे कितना जूझ रहे थे, कितनी सारे उनपे शोषण हुआ, अत्याचार हुए, कि उनको पता था कि समाज की क्या स्थिति है। और इसलिए उनने ये संविधान में सारी चीजों को ध्यान रखते हुए, इसके हर शब्द का मायने होती है। I don't know, I love watching films, frankly speaking, and TV. आजकल बाबा साहेब अम्बेडकर पर एक सीरियल चल रहा है, which is really, really an eye opener, कि कैसे पानी नहीं लेने देते थे, क्योंकि वो अगर छू लेगा तो उसको अगर पानी देने, ऊपर से पानी देते थे, और बाल विवाह के बारे में, और बहुत सारे अन्य जो उस जमाने के अत्याचार हैं। लेकिन कभी कभी जब वो हम सीरियल देख रही हूँ मैं, मुझे लगता है कि वो आज है, क्योंकि क्या बदला है, कितना बदला है, कितना बदलाव आया है इंडिया में। डेफिनेटली अब बदलाव आया है, क्योंकि आप लोगों को सब यहाँ पहुंचे हैं, कॉलेज में पढ़ रहे हैं, आपके अपने ड्रीम्स हैं, एस्पिरेशंस हैं, उड़ने की हमारी इच्छाएं हैं, लेकिन कुछ कुछ चीज़ें बिल्कुल बदल नहीं पाई हैं, उससे बहुत दुख होता है। तो आर्टिकल 23 जो है उसमें क्लियरली लिखा गया है ट्रैफिकिंग इन ह्यूमन बीइंग्स एंड बेगार, उस जमाने में उसको बेगार कहते थे, बॉन्डेड लेबर जिसको हम कहते हैं, वो बिल्कुल गैर कानूनी है एंड प्रोहिबिटेड एंड पनिशेबल बाय लॉ. This, and Article 29, let me tell you, is a fundamental right. So if fundamental rights, agar aapko pata hai, are enforceable by the courts of law, unlike the directive principles, which are just directives in in governance of state policy. And similarly, Article 39E says that health and strength of workers and tender age of children shall not be abused due to economic necessity. लेकिन क्या हालात हैं? अगर आप सड़कों पे देखेंगे, आप अपनी लखनऊ की सड़कों को देखिए, क्या हर चौराहे पे बच्चा भीख नहीं मांग रहा? और क्यों? इनको ये ऑर्गेनाइज रिंग्स हैं, तो इसके लिए कुछ करने की जरूरत है. और ये मैंने एक दिल्ली में सर्वे किया था, और हमने एक्चुअली इस सर्वे में हमने ये किया था कि ये कितना कमाती हैं. एंड लेट मी टेल यू, एक इंसान के 5-6 बच्चे थे और हर बच्चा 300 रुपये पर डे कमा रहा था. एंड हमने ये भी कहा कि आप बच्चे को क्यों देते हैं? दे सेड क्योंकि जो ट्रैफिक लाइट पे लोग रुकते हैं, वो बच्चों को देख के तरस ज्यादा खाते हैं और पैसे देते हैं. और वो जो पैसा था वो कहाँ जा रहा था उसने मेरे को बताया नहीं, ना हमने ज्यादा छानबीन की, क्योंकि फिर लॉ एंड ऑर्डर सिचुएशन हो गई थी. तो मैं ये आपको बताना चाह रही हूँ कि संविधान में हमारे पास सारे प्रावधान हैं, सारे हमारे कानून हैं. हिंदुस्तान को कोई कानून और नहीं चाहिए, हमें सिर्फ चाहिए इम्प्लीमेंटेशन ऑफ द लॉ एंड सेंसिटिविटी, accountability, whether it's accountability in society, whether it's accountability of police, or it's of you individual who is watching this program, every human being, every woman, every man, every parent, every friend. Can we have the next, please? Yeah. So what is, oh no, this is the, yeah. Then the second act which is relating to trafficking is the Immoral Traffic Prevention Act. I have some real strong reservations about this, because जैसे मैंने आपको पहली slide में बताया, trafficking is not only sexual exploitation. Trafficking is done for labor, trafficking is done for marriage, trafficking is done for human organs. क्या क्या चीजें, trafficking is done for drugs. It's done for, so human beings are being trafficked for a number of reasons. लेकिन एक मानसिकता हमारी है ना कि हमने कानून में भी एक moral word डाल दिया. And we've said immoral traffic prevention, and the entire act, you will be shocked to know, it does not define the crime it intends to prevent. कोई भी कानून जब पारित होता है, उसमें सेक्शन 2 जो होता है या जो भी अन्य धारा, उसमें जो कानून जिसको वो पनिश करना चाहता है, उस क्राइम को, उस अपराध को वो परिभाषित करता है. In this act, nowhere is the act trafficking is defined. The word is also not trafficking. They've used immoral traffic. Means कि आप दुनिया की इमोरलिटी पे करें, और पूरा भार क्या डाल दिया औरतों पे. They have defined brothel, then they've defined a child who's not completed 16 years. अब ये देखिए, मैं आपको इसलिए बताना चाह रही हूँ because I want to provoke, I'm assuming that the students are listening to this, and I want to provoke you to think. I want you to be provoked to think. We have a POCSO के बारे में सबने सुना होगा, बच्चों को यौन शोषण से बचाने के लिए, रोकथाम के लिए, उसमें चाइल्ड इज अंडर 18, जुवेनाइल जस्टिस एक्ट, चाइल्ड इज अंडर, इसमें ने उसको 16 years कर दिया, और माइनर. I mean, why have they done these strange definitions? Then they've defined prostitution. You've defined brothel, you've defined prostitution, but you've not defined trafficking. And what is trafficking? Let me tell you, sex work, if we come to the point of sex work, has moved beyond brothels. वो पुराने ज़माने की कोठे होते थे, I don't know लखनऊ में है कि नहीं, कोठे होते थे, red light areas होते थे. The Now it's all on the internet. Their chats, their mobile chats, their, their apps. So this is a 1956 act, कभी उसको सीता कहा, कभी उसको नाम किया पीता कहा, अब IT इत्पा कहा, but जो समस्या है उसका समाधान नहीं हो पाया. And also another thing I want to say is, if a woman is being trafficked, let's say we're talking about trafficking, एक महिला को लगता है कि मेरे को इधर से उधर जबरन मेरे यौन शोषण के लिए कोई ले जाने वाला है, ये उसको एड्रेस नहीं करता. It makes that woman, because we had a case in which the girl went to the police station and said, so police ने क्या जवाब दिया? अभी हुआ तो नहीं है, आप कैसे कह सकते हैं आपका यौन शोषण करने वाला है? So any victim, until you become a complete victim and you're totally violated, there's no sensitivity. So I'm assuming a lot of you are preparing for the UPSC and are going to be lawmakers in the future and enforcers of the law. So I'm just, touching about these points. Maybe take the next one, please. In this act, section 22(8), they have the power to establish special courts. Now, it's only in Mumbai जहाँ ये special courts operative हैं, और मुझे नहीं पता कि देश के कोई अन्य जगह में होंगे. और मैं आपको ये भी बताना चाह रही हूँ, अभी नेशनल इन्वेस्टिगेटिंग एजेंसी के NIA के जुरिस्डिक्शन बढ़ाया गया है, उसमें अब ट्रैफिकिंग आ गया है. तो जो ट्रैफिकिंग के केसेस हैं वो NIA कोर्ट में के दायरे में आएंगे. अब ये क्लियर नहीं है कि ये ITPA में जाएंगे या NIA में जाएंगे, तो एक और नई दुविधा पेश हो जाएगी. Next lady, thanks. Can you take the next, please? Also, sorry, I just, in the last, it's okay, keep this slide. I also want to mention in the ITPA, no, ma'am, it's okay, you can take the next slide. I want to also mention about ITPA. In that, soliciting, it's not sex work per se is not banned. Soliciting is banned, giving an advertisement, standing on the road to solicit is prohibited. लेकिन एक महिला एक पुरुष के संग अगर यौन संबंध रखती है और उसके लिए पैसे लेती है, वो जायज है. लेकिन living off the earnings of prostitution is banned XYZ. Now the Dalit activists have a very strong reservation, क्योंकि कौन महिलाएं हैं जो शोषित हो रही हैं? नीचे तबके की, यानी कि दलित महिला या वंचित वर्ग की. अगर आप लोगों ने मदर इंडिया फिल्म देखी होगी, इफ यू सीन मदर इंडिया, जब नरगिस पे वो साहूकार एक ऑफर करता है कि तेरे सब कुछ पति नहीं है, सब कुछ बिखर गया है, बाढ़ में है, तुम्हारे 2 बच्ची हैं, तो मेरे संग संबंध रखो. She refuses, but a single act of sex, who is the person who is being exploited? ये हमें समझना जरूरी है. क्या जो महिला शोषित हो रही है, जो पैसे के लिए अपना देह बेच रही है, क्योंकि उसकी जिंदगी का सवाल है, जीने का या उसके बच्चों का सवाल, क्या आप उस महिला को कहोगे कि तुम क्रिमिनल हो? या लिविंग ऑफ द अर्निंग्स इज ऑल्सो अ क्राइम. यानी कि मैं अपने बच्चों का पेट पाल रही हूँ और अपने माँ बाप का पाल रही हूँ, सो दे आर ऑल क्रिमिनल्स. माने कि आप, let's not confuse morality with law. Let's not confuse what we, when in the first, if you saw the directive principles out of economic necessity, forced out of economic necessity, आर्थिक कारणों से आप अगर कुछ ऐसा काम करती हैं, so be sensitive to those people who are doing it. They are not criminals. So I just want you to understand that. Now to come to the bonded, we've just spoken about the bonded labor. Like I said, it is from the Constitution that all the acts flow. And the Constitution of India, it's a fundamental right for bonded labor, for trafficking and बेगार, जिसे हम bonded labor कहते हैं, has been prohibited. लेकिन वही हमारा सवाल, उसमें ये आपका ये एक्ट आपके सामने है जिसमें बॉन्डेड लेबर का परिभाषित किया है. बॉन्डेड लेबरर जो है उसको किया है इंसान को और व्यवस्था को. मीन्स कि ये पहचान रहे हैं, कानून ये पहचान रहा है कि ऐसी एक व्यवस्था, एक कुरीति हमारे समाज में है जिसको हमें खत्म करने की जरूरत है. और इसमें लिखा है इट स्टैंड्स अबॉलिश्ड. लेकिन जैसे अभी सर ने कहा कि कैंपेन शुरू किया, एंड वी होप दैट यू नो दिस कैंपेन विल बी इफेक्टिव। एक कानून पारित करने के लिए सेक्शन 4 में कहना बॉन्डेड लेबर स्टैंड्स अबॉलिश्ड, विल इट अबॉलिश इट? और स्टार्टिंग दिस कैंपेन मिशन शक्ति, will it change the thinking of the people? Will it change the male mind? Let me tell you one thing, change is intergenerational. एक पीढ़ी लगती है एक मानसिकता को बदलने में। 4 से 14 में आपने जो ज्ञान ले लिया वो आपके जहन में चला जाता है। आप चाहे आईआईटी कर लो या आप स्टैटिस्टिक्स में एमएससी कर लो, लेकिन आपकी सोच नहीं बदलेगी। कीपिंग दिस इन माइंड, why am I, then you say आप हमें क्यों ज्ञान दे रहे हैं? What is all this talk about? Because my mind is already made, मेरी तो मानसिकता बन गई है। But we are telling you all this. Why are these programs being organized? So you recognize your failings, you recognize, you see your weaknesses. If you'll see Chalang film, it's a very interesting film, Rajkumar Rao और की है, and it's थोड़े ह्यूमर में बड़ा अच्छा सब्जेक्ट कि हाँ वो उसकी कैसी सोच है, क्योंकि उसकी आसपास के लोग उस तरह के हैं। जब ये लड़की से मिलता है उसकी सोच में बदलाव, ड्रास्टिक बदलाव नहीं आ सकता, बट अपनी गलतियों को पहचानता है। दैट्स व्हाट आई एम सेइंग, अपनी गलतियों को पहचानना, अपनी कमजोरियों को पहचानना जरूरी है ताकि वी कैन मूव अहेड इन लाइफ इन अ मोर सेंसिटिव मैनर। मैम, कैन वी हैव द नेक्स्ट वन प्लीज? So we have 1950, we have the Constitution was adopted, and 1976 was the Bonded Labor Act in the last line. But did it get abolished? Was it like वैमूश कि आपने बोल दिया जी शाही फरमान हमने दे दिया तो खत्म हो जाएगा? नहीं। 2016 में एक रिहैबिलिटेशन स्कीम की जरूरत पड़ी। क्यों? क्योंकि नहीं जा रही हैं कुरीतियां। प्लीज मैं आप सबसे बोलती हूँ कि आप ध्यान से सुनिए। अब ये थोड़ा मॉडर्न, हम अच्छे कपड़े पहनते हैं, वी ऑल वेयर जीन्स एंड वी आर ऑल स्मार्ट, यू नो, बट मेंटली लेट्स चेंज। You know, we're all eating chow mein, chili chicken and noodles, but let's get forward thinking. We're all having a pizza, but let's think like that. Let me tell you why I'm saying this. You'll say, "Arey, hum to modern hai." I was just watching the television, and aapne US ka dekha hoga, Joe Biden has won, and Joe Biden is making a rehab scheme for workers who are out of work. So hum unse seekhe. और Vice President कौन है? Kamala Harris. हमें बहुत खुश है कि उसके हिंदुस्तानी उसका मूल है, लेकिन वो क्या है? एक तमिलियन जो अमेरिका गई, उसने जमैकन काले से शादी की, ये बच्चा हुआ। ये औरत जो है इसने एक जूइश पति से शादी की जिसके 2 बच्चे हैं। सो लेट्स गेट इनटू द मॉडर्न वर्ल्ड वेयर वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट फ्यूजन एंड ब्लेंडिंग। पारिवारिक व्यवस्था बदल रही है और उसको हमें एक्सेप्ट करना चाहिए, उसको हमें विलिंगली एक्सेप्ट करना चाहिए। वी आर टॉकिंग, वी शुड नॉट जस्ट से कि अरे हम बहुत खुश हैं कमला हैरिस के भारतीय, अमेरिकन वाइस प्रेसिडेंट भारतीय। सो व्हाट? हमें भी तो इस तरह से करना चाहिए ना कि कोई और मूल की औरत को उसने किसी फला धर्म से शादी की और फिर ऐसे, उसको भी तो हमें एक्सेप्ट करना चाहिए। व्हाट अबाउट वी कीप्स, हम ये कहते हर चीज पे हम कहते हैं अंग्रेजों ने की, अंग्रेज तो कब से चले गए और आजादी हमें मिल गई। हमारी गलतियां हमारी है, अंग्रेज तो कहां से कहां पहुंच गए। दे आर नॉट प्योर वाइट। द अमेरिकन क्वीन डॉटर इन लॉ मेगन मार्कल, शी वाज बायरेशियल। क्वीन के टू बी किंग के जो युवराज जिसे कहते हैं, उसने एक ऐसी महिला से शादी की जो ना अंग्रेज इंग्लिश थी, जो दूसरे देश की थी, जो बायरेशियल थी, आधी काली आधी कुछ ये वो, और फिर इधर आके। सो वी आर, वर्ल्ड इज चेंजिंग। अगर हम वसुंध ये कहते हैं, द ग्लोब इज यू नो कुटुंब की बात करते हैं, तो फिर अगर हम कहते हैं तो हम उसको मन से उसको अपनाएं, मन से अपनाएं। So what I'm to come back to the point, in 1950 you had the abolition, you had a fundamental right and Article 23, then 76 you have the law. But in 2016 you felt the need for a scheme. रिहैबिलिटेशन पैकेज, जो आई थिंक मैं ये इसको थोड़ा इसीलिए मैंने डाला है क्योंकि आप लोग बड़े कुछ शहरों, लखनऊ से हैं, कुछ बाहर से हैं, कुछ ग्रामीण इलाकों से होंगे या जिनको जानते होंगे, तो उनकी मदद करने में ये फ़ायदा होगा कि रिहैबिलिटेशन पैकेज 1 लाख का है मेल बेनिफिशरी का, और बच्चे और जिनको भीख मांगने के लिए फोर्स किया जा रहा है उसमें 2 लाख है। और एक्सट्रीम केसेस ऑफ डेप्रिवेशन, ट्रांसजेंडर, अगर ये हिजड़े जो आती हैं उनको, ये गैंग्स हैं, ये बच्चों को ले जाती हैं, ट्रैफिक करते हैं, उनको जबरन रखती हैं, तो उसमें भी एंड डिफरेंटली एबल्ड पीपल, इट्स 3 लाख रुपीज। डिफरेंटली एबल्ड पर्सन आप देख रहे होंगे कि जो चौराहों पे जो भीख लोग मांग रहे हैं, जो जिनके हाथ नहीं है, जो विकलांग है, कुछ ना कुछ उनमें कमी है, लोग ज्यादा तरस खाते हैं, तो ये गैंग्स ऑपरेट करती हैं। और इसको किस तरह से हम ये जो है चक्रव्यूह इसको तोड़े, ये बहुत ज़रूरी है, और इसमें आपका सहयोग और आपकी बहुत महत्वपूर्ण भाग है। कैन वी हैव द नेक्स्ट प्लीज मैम, नेक्स्ट स्लाइड। फिर हम ये ह्यूमन ऑर्गन्स की बात कर रहे हैं। ह्यूमन ऑर्गन्स आर इंक्लूड टिश्यूज, एंड ये एक्ट दिया हुआ मैंने, तो इसको क्या क्या अनऑथराइज क्या है, इलीगल क्या है, हमारे सबके शरीर में अलग अलग अंग हैं, टू रिमूव फ्रॉम द बॉडी ऑफ अ डिसीज पर्सन, माने अगर एक मृत इंसान से आपने शरीर से निकाली चुपचाप, या अगर जैसे हम when a body which has been entrusted for the purpose of interment and cremation or other disposal, जैसे हमने शमशान घर में बॉडी को दिया है और उसमें से जैसे कुछ पड़ी रहती हैं, अनक्लेम्ड बॉडीज जो है वो पड़ी रहती हैं, and to remove the organs, that's a crime, and it is happening. Why are these laws there? Because these things are happening और इसको हम रोक नहीं पा रहे हैं. Also, there's a restriction, of course, Section 9 says restriction on removal and transplantation. This is also a little, a kind of a highly subject to debate this and intense discussion कि अगर कोई अपना organ देना चाह रहा है, किसी को दान देना चाह रहा है, तो वो क्यों नहीं दे सकता? But the law says, बट हमें कानून का पालन करना पड़ेगा। और कानून क्या कहता है? कानून कहता है कि आप अपना जो रेसिपिएंट है, जिसको आप दान कर रहे हैं, वो जो है वो आपका रिश्तेदार होना चाहिए। बट लेट मी टेल यू, number of transplants are taking place by people for money and forcibly. I have no issue. Of course, the law is saying that you cannot give it to a person who's not a... VIPs are getting the organs immediately. बाकी लोग क्यों में लगे हुए हैं? बट जो हो रहा है कि लोग जबरदस्ती, जो गरीब इलाके हैं, जहाँ अकाल आया है, जहाँ बाढ़ आई है, जहाँ बहुत जूझ रहे हैं लोग, पैसे के लिए तरस रहे हैं, उनको गैंग्स टारगेट करती हैं, उनको कहते हैं कि आप आइए, उनको कांटेक्ट करते हैं, उनका टिश्यू मैच कराती हैं, एंड देन ऑफ कोर्स देयर इज एन इंटरव्यू जिसमें वो डॉक्टर्स पूछते हैं कि आपके रिश्तेदार हैं कि नहीं, वो कहते हैं हाँ हमारा रिश्तेदार है जी, मेरे भाई का बेटा है, और समथिंग लाइक दैट, झूठ बोलती है। और इसमें शामिल हॉस्पिटल्स और डॉक्टर्स भी हैं, क्योंकि विजुअली यू कैन मेक आउट कि कौन किसका रिश्तेदार है। So this is another form of trafficking. What I'm trying to tell you कि किस तरह से एक भारी भरकम, एक ऑर्गेनाइज्ड, औपचारिक तरह से, एक हिंसात्मक ढंग से एक दुर्व्यापार चल रहा है, जिसका आप लोगों को संवेदनशील हम बनाने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं कि आपका सहयोग मिले कि ये किसी तरह से खत्म हुआ जाए। मैम, कैन वी टेक द नेक्स्ट वन प्लीज? Now to again, like I just spoke to you when we spoke about ITPA. I also said that there's a bias. Because there's a Dalit bias when we talk about morality. एक महिला को के संग आप, वैसे तो आप कहते हो कि जात पात है, इसको छू नहीं सकते, इसको वो नहीं करते, पर एक महिला को जब आपने उसके संग जबरन करना है या उसका बलात्कार करना है, तब वो जात पात नहीं रहती। मैं आपको एक छोटी सी ऑफ द टू मेक इट अ लिटिल बिट मोर इंटरेस्टिंग, सेक्सुअल हैरेसमेंट एट वर्क प्लेस कहते हैं यार, हमारे पास तो ऐसा कभी कुछ था ही नहीं। बट सबसे पहले मैं आपको इसका भारत में इसका जो कहते हैं उदाहरण यौन शोषण कार्यस्थल पे मैं बताना चाह रही हूँ। जबलपुर नाम शहर आपने सब सुना होगा, मध्य प्रदेश में एक शहर है जबलपुर जहाँ कोर्ट भी है। तो वो जबवाला वो लेडी थी और उसका बेटा था सत्यकाम ऋषि था। आई डोंट नो अगर आपको पता है माइथोलॉजी और शास्त्रों के बारे में। तो सत्यकाम पढ़ने के लिए जाना चाह रहा था ऋषि के संग, और उस जमाने में जात और पिता का नाम पूछते थे। तो जब वो गया ऋषि के पास पढ़ाई के लिए कि आप मेरे को ज्ञान दीजिए, कृपा करके ज्ञान दीजिए, उनने कहा कि अपने पिता का नाम बताओ और जात बताओ। सो द बॉय वेंट होम टू हिज मदर एंड ही सेड, मॉम मेरा पिता का क्या नाम है, क्या जात है? उसने क्या जवाब दिया द लेडी? शी सेड कि मैं लोगों के घर में काम करने जाती थी। शी वॉज अ डोमेस्टिक वर्कर। मैं लोगों के घर में जाती थी, मुझे पता ही नहीं तुम्हारा बाप कौन है। यानी कि आप समझिए कि किस स्तर तक उसका यौन शोषण होता था। इट्स नॉट कंसेंट, उसके पास कोई चारा नहीं था। एक जात काइंड समाज में रहकर उस तरह का अपना और अपने बच्चे का पेट पाल रही थी। तो सत्यकाम ने जाके उसके अपने जो टीचर था, परसेप्टर था ऋषि को, उनको बोला। उसने कहा कि तुम्हारी माँ सत्य है और तुमने ये सत्य बोला, मैं तुमको स्वीकार करता हूँ अपना शिष्य बनाने के लिए। तो ये कहानी है और वो शहर का नाम है जबलपुर। तो ये कोई मनगढ़ंत मेरी कहानी नहीं है। So what I'm trying to say is that it was always people from the lower caste who were inculcated into them. And which other states? Maharashtra has a Devdas. Even in 2005 they thought of bringing an act. That means कि 2005 तक तो चल रहा था, अब खत्म हो रहा है, कम हो रहा है। बट कर्नाटक, आंध्र प्रदेश, तेलंगाना, उड़ीसा, अभी वही मैं कह रही हूँ, वो बहुत अच्छा वो सीरियल है बाबा साहेब अम्बेडकर का। उसमें दिखाया है कि एक छोटी सी लड़की जो देवदासी है, उसने शी इज कमिटेड सुसाइड समथिंग कि जो ईश्वर को बच्ची जानती नहीं ईश्वर क्या है, वो ईश्वर को समर्पित कैसे हो सकती है? बट समाज उसका शोषण करने के लिए, जो उच्च जाति है उसका शोषण करने के लिए, उसको भगवान को समर्पित करके, उसको नचवा के, उसका यौन शोषण करके फिर उसको शहरों में बेचोगे। मेरे को बताओ, क्या ये किस तरह की मानवता है? किसको हम मुंह दिखाएंगे? So this is also a part of a very organized racket, because these girls are dedicated to the temple. The poor girls in the villages are dedicated to temples, and then they traffic to bigger cities for sexual exploitation. Ma'am, can we have the next slide, please? Now to come to IPC, which talks about Bharatiya Dand Sanhita, जो हमारी सारे दंडों की but now again मेरे को बहुत दुख होता है। ये मेरे पर्सनली मैं बहुत इससे भावुक होती हूँ कि हमने 1800 की भारत दंड संहिता हम अभी भी चला रहे हैं, जो ब्रिटिश सरकार ने करी थी। वो कहाँ से कहाँ पहुँच गए? हम वही इसको चेप के अमेंड करके चला रहे हैं, when the concept of crime has changed and concept of punishment has changed. In those days the punishment was different. Now punishment is about rehabilitation, reformation, open jails. समाज कहाँ से कहाँ बन गया, चला गया, लेकिन हम वहीं के वहीं इसमें हमारी दंड संहिता वहीं की वहीं अटकी हुई है। एंड दिस पोस्ट निर्भया बहुत सारा आपको पता है अमेंडमेंट्स हुए लॉ में, तो ये सेक्शन 370 में भी अमेंडमेंट हुआ और इसको और विस्तृत करा गया, in which it said purpose of exploitation, it's in front of you. And so again it was about threat, force or any other form of coercion. That means एक जबरदस्ती होनी चाहिए और एक movement होना चाहिए। लेकिन what was missing, the most important thing is position of vulnerability. That is missing. I don't need those children who are coming or those from Orissa for labor in Delhi, or those women who are going in the brick factories in Uttar Pradesh. I mean, they're not being threatened. They're not being forced. There's no other form of coercion. They're doing it for money, but still they're being. So what is happening? Unki jo vulnerable position hai, that is being abused. And that the law has not taken in context. Our law is not in confirmation with the international law, which the Palermo Convention defines trafficking, in which it includes a position of vulnerability. When I was working in the National Commission for Women, दार्जिलिंग से मेरे को फोन आता था कि रिमोट गांव में, वेस्ट बंगाल दार्जिलिंग में ऊपर पहाड़ी इलाके में जहाँ कोई सड़क नहीं थी, किसी की परिवार में अगर मौत हो गई, पति की या औरत की या जिसके इवन औरत की, तो ट्रैफिकों को फटाफट लोकल नेटवर्क से पता चलता था, गूगल मैप से वो पहुंचता था और वो 5,000 रुपए दे के वो बच्चे को उठा लेता था. उठाता नहीं था, कोई ले लेता. 5,000 रुपए ना उसने जोर जबरदस्ती की, ना उसने कोई फोर्स किया, ना उसने इंड्यूस किया कि मैं तुम्हें दूंगा. उसने कहा ये दे रहा हूं, और वो बाप कंसेंट करके देता था. सो क्या व्हाट वाज द अब्यूज? द अब्यूज वाज कि मुझे पता है, लेट्स गो बैक टू आर्टिकल, लेट्स गो बैक टू द डायरेक्टिव प्रिंसिपल्स. बाय इकोनॉमिक नेसेसिटी, आर्थिक दरिद्रता का फायदा उठाया गया. And that is very important to be there. I'll just want to share with you फूलों देवी. सबने फूलों देवी के बारे में सुना है, आई एम अज्यूमिंग. तो एक BBC इंटरव्यू था, उसमें उसने the BBC interview asked her कि what would you like to be in your next life? Would you like to be a woman? Because उसका इतना शोषण किया, and she was also, you know, उसकी जो कहानी थी. So she told her, she said कि मैं भगवान को ये प्रार्थना करती हूँ, मुझे कुछ भी बनाओ, मुझे उससे कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता, मेरे को गरीब मत बनाना. So this is the problem of, you know, economics also. Ma'am, can we have the next one, or that's then? Okay. Now we are also talking. I thought, let me just, बहुत सारी चीजें तो नहीं कह दी ma'am, or would you like me to continue or stop? I'll just take the last slide.
Yeah, you can
Ma'am,
continue.
please continue.
Continue, please.
Yeah,
continue.
because there's so many topics I've covered, you
Yeah.
know, I don't know, like I thought let me just take, because I have focused on all the issues, but on Child Labor Prohibition Regulation and Amendment Act 2016. तो इसमें ये, why has it been regulated to prohibit engagement of children in occupations? Now इसमें जो है adolescent और child दोनों को अलग अलग परिभाषित किया है. Child is someone who's not completed 14, and adolescent is who's 14 to 18 years. They've divided into two, unlike POCSO, which calls all children under 18. So there's a conflict in the law, in the ITPA, in the child labor, you know, and somehow I think that mindlessly हम एक नया कानून बना देते हैं. बट व्हाट अबाउट द हार्मनी? बिकॉज जब कन्फ्लिक्ट होगा, फिर फलाना ढिमकाना, और फिर आप सुप्रीम कोर्ट पहुंचते 20 साल लगेंगे. आई मीन बंदा चाइल्ड तो रहेगा ही नहीं, वो तो वैसे ही, यू नो, जूझ जाएगा, व्यवस्था से जूझ जाए तो. But the very important good thing about this act is that it has specified child as 14. Why? Because Right to Free and Compulsory Education Act says that you're entitled to 6 to 14, you get free and compulsory education. So अगर उसमें दर बढ़ा, so 14 साल तक ये उद्देश्य है कि 14 साल तक बच्चे को, चाहे उसकी कुछ भी हो, आर्थिक हालत कुछ भी हो, उसको स्कूल में रहना जरूरी है. और ये क्योंकि अब ये फंडामेंटल राइट बना दिया है, पहले डायरेक्टिव प्रिंसिपल था, अब फंडामेंटल राइट है. दैट मीन्स द स्टेट इज रिस्पॉन्सिबल. If any child is begging on the road under 14, that child is to be in school, and it's the state's responsibility to ensure. You can go to court, you can file a PIL in Lucknow. That's another matter, that what is the reality, but that is how strict it's become. Also, they get the midday meal. So the idea is that the children remain in school till 14, and they're looked after physically, mentally, and also nutritional needs will be met because of the midday meal. Now, no child is allowed to be occupied in any occupation or process which is hazardous. लेकिन हमारे देश में बहुत सारे पुश्तैनी काम हैं, जैसे कारीगर हैं, हस्तकार हैं, artists हैं, craftspersons हैं. Even otherwise, whether you're a mechanic or you're anything, you know, you're involved in your, because there are a lot of, you know, small or entrepreneurs, I'd give them a word, you know, Now you use all these fancy words startups because it relates to the virtual world, but all these people are self-employed and employing so many people, and I think it's amazing good work they're doing. So अगर वो अपना परिवार का सीखता है का जो भी स्किल है उसको सीखता है और वो हैजडस ऑक्यूपेशन नहीं है तो और दो तीन चीज़ें और हैजडस ऑक्यूपेशन शेड्यूल में डाली गई हैं, दो तीन चीज़ों की और हिदायत दी है कि वो 9 से 5 नहीं कर सकता वो काम, वो पुश्तैनी काम अगर करेगा स्कूल के टाइम के बाद करेगा और या अपनी ग्रीष्मकाल या कोई और छुट्टियों में करेगा. सो टू इंश्योर कि स्कूल के टाइम में बच्चा स्कूल में ही रहे. एंड इसमें जो है ये इस पुश्तैनी जो है आपका काम कर सकते हैं और आप एंटरटेनमेंट इंडस्ट्री में भी कर सकते हैं बिकॉज चाइल्ड आर्टिस्ट आर लाइक रियली क्यूट एंड यू नो फिल्म्स एंड सीरियल्स एंड दे हैव advertisements, they have an appeal. Children and animals have an appeal. That's why they use the maximum, whether it's begging or the entertainment industry. So अगर उसमें भी allowed है, लेकिन सर्कस में काम अगर कर रहे हैं तो कुछ conditions हैं subject to the safety measures, and then they can do it. And then we can have the next slide, please. I think that's the last one. Yeah, thank you. So if there are any questions or any interventions you'd like.
Meghna, please unmute all participants.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for this lecture and such lucid and explicit explanation. I am sure that all of us, especially the students, have been sensitized towards this issue, and we hope that we are heading towards a better society. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Meghna, please unmute Professor Sheela Mishra.
Meghna.
Thank you, Charuji. I am Professor Sheela Mishra. Namaskar. I am Chairperson of Internal Complaint Committee, University of Lucknow, and Coordinator of Mission Shakti for University of Lucknow. So it is a great opportunity for all of us to listen to you in detail. Actually, the thing was that, as you told, the topic has covered so many things. Actually, this is the theme for whole of the month. It is not the theme for a single webinar or single discussion, but because of maybe some confusion, the whole theme has been communicated to you. So, but in any case, you have covered it and tried to justify the presentation. One thing I would just like to know, as you told, we are not lacking in the laws. We are having enough provisions for the safety and dignity of women, for giving her opportunities. But why it is so hard for us to implement all the provisions which support women? And most of the time, I have found that the people want to talk about women if they are vulnerable and if they are weak. But if women is a bold, or if she is able to take decisions, or if she is doing good, then people feel insecure. People feel threatened. And instead of supporting, people just try to avoid such kind of women. So don't you think that that is also a great issue, especially at the workplace?
Absolutely.
And what is your take on this? Like, how can we make people understand and sensitive towards women? Because talking about sensitivity is one thing, and as you told, being sensitive is very different from talking about sensitivity. So how can we ensure that kind of attitudinal change? And how can we bring more sensitivity at workplace, at home, at public places? What are your experiences in this regard?
Thank you, ma'am, for this question. It's a very deep question which doesn't have a simple answer. But anyway, I'll try and answer it because this is a question which is raised 100 times. But we need a very strong political will to, solve the things. Like I said, change is intergenerational. ये हर बार एक इंसिडेंट होता है जैसे कि मानसिकता बदलनी चाहिए. Politician says it, professor says it, activist say it. But I always say मानसिकता कोई लड्डू नहीं है कि आपने एक दफा खिला दिया और उसकी मानसिकता. It's not a गोली. It's a process which takes one generation. If you compare yourself with other smaller countries, like, on a larger level, let's say Korea, Taiwan, maybe even Japan, I mean, we gained independence before them, we modernized before them. But what did they do? For 20 years, they just focused on their manpower. That ek insan hai. It's not about, and we were such a caste-ridden society, we had so many patriarchal values. So we, instead of focusing on our human resource, changing our education system, making it more gender sensitive, making it more equitable, we are stuffing our children with, all kinds of things which they don't even know or understand, and they'll never have any use for it. Why do we have the maximum number of, there's a, when I meet a child and say, kya kiya? He says 8th fail.
Bye.
Class 8 fail is like, it's like a certificate. So the problem is that when chalo class 8 fail ho gaya, but till class 8 did he or she understand and imbibe those values? No. Our constitution talks about equality. Article 14, Samta ka adhikar. Everyone is equal, right to life. But what was the reality? When a child is born, what happens? The first thing the parent tells them is Jat. Is Dharm. You are so and so, you are so and so, your name is according. Your identity is that. After you grow up, then it is Jat. ये जात का है, वो जात का, ये जात यहाँ करते हैं, ये जात वो करते हैं, ये रीति है. Then when it grows slightly, it comes to ये खाना चाहिए, ये नहीं खाना चाहिए, ideas of pollution and untouchability. Where are the constitutional values being imbibed in the children? The only place they can be done now is in school, because when it's 6 or 7 or 8, the child has to go to school. And almost, I think, Sarv Shiksha Abhiyan के बाद सारे बच्चे स्कूल में जा रहे हैं. चाहे एजुकेशन की क्वालिटी बहुत बढ़िया नहीं हो, वो अलग बात है, बट सारे बच्चे स्कूल में जा रहे हैं, खाना ले रहे हैं. तो वो उसको आपने स्कूल में ये सारी चीजें सिखानी थी. योर सिलेबस हैड टू बी attuned to that, but it was not. So, I mean, we can keep talking about it. And who are the people who are going to grow up? They are going to be the implementers of the law. They are going to be the legislators. When post-Nirbhaya, stalking was being included in the stalking was being included as an offense. Stalking was not an offense, but it was being included, and there was a discussion. It's on record. One of the politicians said, "फिर youth का love ही खत्म हो जाएगा." He says, किस आदमी ने लड़की को साइकिल पे फॉलो नहीं किया है? I mean, it's not funny. अगर मैं रोज कॉलेज जा रही हूँ और एक लड़का मेरे पीछे आ रहा है, मेरे में इतना डर होता है, वो लड़की डरी हुई होती हैं, वो टीचर को बताती है, माँ बाप को नहीं बताती, क्योंकि माँ बाप कहेंगे कॉलेज छोड़ दो. बस स्टॉप पे लड़के तंग करते हैं. I mean, but they're the same people. So, until we start now, I even say, when Nirbhaya happened, how many years is it? So many years ago. Almost 6 years.
One thing more I would like to understand. You talked about so many classifications, so many sections, so many types of differentiation between the people. Because of that, people do sometimes the discrimination or some kind of crime against them. But what is the reason why it is happening in the same home? Because during the COVID, during the lockdown, the domestic violence and the abuse against women by their own people, that has also increased multiple number of times throughout the globe. It's not only India or rural people or uneducated people. So this is happening not only because of the caste, because of the creed, because of the religion, because of so many factors. Why it is happening? By the close people, the partners, as you said, like the people whom people trust. They are supposed to provide this thing. So what is the root cause? And also, like in Delhi, it has been seen that the sub-inspector, he was harassing and eve-teasing the women. So this is happening. The doctors, the police, the judiciary people. I mean, there is no single branch you can exclude that, well, this is the safest branch for the women. Women will be safe there. So why it is cutting across all the sections, all the kind of people, all the economic group? I mean, how can we prevent all these things to happen in future? Because as you already said, constitution is not the solution. Constitution is not something that everybody is aware of. And most of the time, when people commit any crime, they are not in their senses to understand what is going to be the impact of this kind of activity. So what is the, the recipe for preventing all these
You
things?
said a very right thing. You said they don't understand the implication of the action. That's exactly. Now they've increased for rape, they have increased it to death by hanging, capital punishment. But do those people know? Do they know the implication? No. So all these things, what is important? Life skills. They need to be taught till class 5. After that, you can fill them with whatever you want, but till class 5 at least, so that the child is aware when it's in a developing stage. And these people are the same, they're part of the same society. So nothing is going to change, believe me, until we start now. I'm a little bit of a pessimist. I think violence against women is going to increase rampantly. Why? Because women are demanding their space in the public space. पहले महिलाओं को दिखती नहीं थी, या पर्दे में हो या बुरखे में हो या घूंघट पे हो, और सड़कों पे नहीं अब दिख रही है. तो जो दूसरा बंदा है जो उसको देख रहा है, वो अपने भावनाओं को कंट्रोल नहीं कर पा रहा. He is not able to control because he has not been taught and he has been brought up in a patriarchal thinking कि तुम जो करना चाहते हो कर सकते हो. You can take whatever you want.
मैम यहाँ पर मेरा बस एक बहुत छोटा सा कह लीजिए एक
Ma'am, please give a happy note because we want to give a very positive message.
सजेशन है कि जिस समय हम लोगों के यहाँ ईस्ट इंडिया कंपनी आई और ब्रिटिश रूल था, उस समय एक सर्वे कराया गया था, और एक बुक है द ब्यूटीफुल ट्री बाय धर्मपाल. And he has described through all the evidences and facts which were kept in London. He went there, he stayed there for 6 or 7 years, and he made all the researches. And there it was written that the East India Company and the British government, they conducted the survey and found that there were at least 94 to 98% of the literacy in India. Obviously, that included women. And at least 5 lakh schools, primary level, only in the villages, not including the bigger universities and all those things. And this is also mentioned that the women can go at night with all the ornaments. And there was no threat. No this kind of rape and the crime against women, it was not found there in India, and this is documented till 17th of century. And it was the European countries where first time the revolution by the women started, because their women were not given right to education for the logical or analytical kind of things. They were supposed to be only the homemakers or raise the children. And moreover, the philosophy by the Plato, who said that women don't deserve that kind of dignity, that they can be like the wives. So he advocated on the basis of which the whole European and Western philosophy and the respect for the women is governed by. He said women don't deserve that kind of married or wife level, and they have to be like live in partnership. They don't need any kind of family. So the children were taken as the byproduct of the relationship between man and woman, and then they were just thrown away from the home, just at the mercy of the government, or at the mercy of the kind of orphanage or something like that. But India had never that kind of philosophy or the system or the family. So before 17th century, I would like to request all the participants, all the students, all the panelists, just to go through the history of India, because it is not one single case you single out. Because you gave the example of Satyakam, the son of Jabala, and he was accepted as a Brahmin by Gautam Rishi. So you have to understand that also. He was not discarded as a Dalit or the son or child of somebody who is not having the father's name. He was accepted. He was said that he is a Brahmin, and he has written so many things. So India never had this kind of approach, because any country is governed by the philosophy. So philosophy is there, culture is there, but that has you can say deviated from its culture. So it has deviated from culture. So we have to come back to that culture. So we need two kinds of approaches. One is the preventive approach, and the other is remedial approach. So what you have given the huge number of laws, they are the remedial measures. They have to be implemented in true spirit. And for preventive, we have to build up the character. We have to give the values to our children from the very beginning, from the family, from the schools. Unless we build up the character, unless we give the values, I think we will not be able to make women safe and live a dignified way. So thank you so much.
Very true, very true. Thank you so much for your intervention. Really, I mean, we need preventive and remedial also, in which the courts play, because that that slow justice is absolutely defying everything. Also, I want to say we need to have open talks with communication, because taking it over from parents, schools have a role. And that's why I've come out with this parenting tips with Charu. There's 17 episodes covering everything, right from gratification to failure to disability. There's some very sensitive on disability. The last one is in Hindi, 16 are in English. So
I will definitely go through all your videos.
Request all the students also. Thank you so much.
Ma'am, I have a simple question. मैम एक बहुत नॉर्मल आता है जब भी हम चौराहे से निकलते हैं कि the ones who beg, why don't they call out their oppressor? I have been wondering it since many years. I do not know the answer to this question कि अगर वो लोग कहीं से उठाए गए हैं या उन्हीं की trafficking हुई भी है and they are being exploited, or maybe they are being harassed or sexually or mentally, I do not understand why don't they call out?
See, a large number of them are actually by their own families. And if you, after this incident which happened in Noida, after that incident, when, these children went missing, if you will see it, the children are begging, and you will see somewhere far a person is keeping an eye on them. So they're family members. And the children have lived no other life. No other. How can you call? If you know that I have this right, I have that right, I can call out the oppressor. But when I don't know I have a life, I mean, this is the life I've led. And also they've internalized it. Similarly with domestic violence, which ma'am has spoken about. In Bihar, I did these seminars and these women, and I said that, agar aapne roti jala di hai and your husband beats you, what will you do? She says, next time I'll try and make a better roti. She has, वो जो हीन भावना इतनी आंतरिक हो गई है. So for a child at the, unless he's been forcibly picked up and he doesn't know, and then the grooming is done. You see, when it's organized, the crime is very done. It's not just done like that. He's groomed somewhere else. Then they're brought to especially the religious places.
Yes, ma'am.
There was this, we did a raid in Hanuman Mandir, Delhi, where, there was this child and we took her, it was a girl, and then we took her, when we did the rehab, and then the person came to me, the social worker, and said, it's not a girl, it's a boy. I said, let me check. And it actually turned out to be a boy. And their parents were somewhere from, far from, not from Ghaziabad, 2, 3 stations away. They were from UP. They used to leave the child there overnight because a disabled girl will earn more money. So she had that funny kind of cut hair and a dress, but it was actually a boy. I mean, who can call out who? Are you in a position? Or are you being forced out of economic necessity to do this? These are very rhetoric questions of poverty. And until there's some real development, you know, we are going, and especially with this COVID, we're really going, it's gone bad because children have dropped out of school. And dropping out of school means abuse in the family, like ma'am just now said, violence,
Right.
not necessarily sexual, physical bhi ho sakta hai. And then food, nutrition. And we have stunted. 3 out of 5 children are stunted in India. And we have
Right.
very bad reports. That's why the Prime Minister had announced they want to increase the maternal mortality rate is very high. I mean, everything is like, against us, and we're still struggling and doing well. So I think that's a big credit to all people like you who are trying to make a difference to society. And we have to keep struggling.
And there is one question from the participants. She said, I guess she's left right now. But the question is, if she's traveling by bus and if she gets groped, and what does she do next? Because all of us know that the police stations do not file an FIR so easily. The second problem is that the girls do not want to pursue, the families do not want to pursue, and then there is no witness protection. So what, according to you, should be done, legally or not legally?
See, it's being a legal person, it's very easy for me to say that she should catch hold of the person, shout, or, and ask the police, the bus has to stop at the next police station. But
Okay.
now the question is that we've had this problem with a lot of girls came to us when I'm working, when I'm running my social welfare center. And the girl tells me, ma'am, I have to take that bus every day.
Exactly.
And
Exactly,
that
ma'am.
group of boys is going to be there every day. So, she has to somehow, I think there's no girl in India who's not been groped or sexually violated in some way.
Absolutely.
But you have to manage things yourself, stand with a friend, keep maybe a pointed pin, Basically, other person has to have a sense of fear about you. He should not take you lightly. I can do it and I can get away, because that next day another boy will come and then they'll take you to the next level because they know which bus stop you get out. They see
Yes.
walking to your house from the bus stop. कितनी दूर है? बहुत दूर है. कौन सी गली में जाते हो? So we don't want, things to escalate to that. So you should definitely, and if it's becoming very serious, I think she has to speak to someone. And if I'm not mistaken, in Uttar Pradesh, they have something called the Parpav girls. You can make an anonymous phone call on the helpline, and they then usko dhamka ke theek karte or something like that.
Yes, there are 1090-181. There are many women helplines.
That helpline is called Parpav girls, because I had gone for
They actually, the people who are working behind those lines, unless those people are having that kind of sensitivity, I mean, it is their job. People are doing it, but what we want like people to be accepting, people to be sensitive, people to be really doing it from their own heart. So unless that much sensitization is done, the real fruit is not coming out. For example, the Mission Shakti, this is 180 days regular program, which is going to be conducted every day, even on Diwali, Dashera, and we did it. Internal Complaint Committee has been doing it continuously for almost 2 months now. But even the educated people, they are taking it as a formality. They have to conduct a webinar, something, some kind of activity. They have to do it. They have to show it. They have to fill up the format. They have to give it to the authorities. But they are not taking it like an opportunity to do something to sensitize people, to involve people, to make them understand what are the problems of women. So unless you accept it by heart, nothing is going to happen. There will be another paper, another complaint, another case study, and going up to the Supreme Court, you will spend your whole life. So sensitivity is the greatest issue, and people to be concerned and people to be conscious about the problems. And they have to be committed also. Yes.
I think even this girl that you've told me, if she's actually having the problem, if it's a one-off, I think we don't need to look into it. But if it's a continuous thing and it's the same person, she needs to take action. She should share the information with someone, with her family, with her friends, with her professors. She needs to take action in a group.
Ma'am, she actually, if I'm not, she's just a friend. So she's actually told her parents, and her parents also want to take legal action. They've talked to lawyers also, but the lawyers have advised them कि कल आप जाओगे and जब आप जा रहे होगे काम पे आपको ट्रक आके ठोक जाएगी, फिर आप बैठे रहोगे जिंदगी भर. And he's not wrong.
I know he's not wrong, but still we can't always assume the worst. I mean, is that boy a part of such a organized gang? Maybe that boy doesn't think he's doing anything wrong and he's getting away and getting a pleasure. See,
that boy started from apologizing to saying I did not do it to करा तो करा, अब कर लो जो करना है.
अब करते हैं फिर दिखाते हैं. I think she needs to take some action, but the law requires, very strict proof to prove it. So he'll be out on bail most probably, but she needs to go through the helpline.
Actually, she can tweet also, because there are strong actions taken immediately by the government. If she can tweet and then tag to the DGP police and the Women Commission of the state, definitely the action will be taken. That can be done. The social media is also going to be very helpful that way.
I think maybe locally she can even be in touch with this Professor Misra. So, it has to be escalated now. Agar is tarah ka ho raha hai. It's a little very disturbing, and these things are happening all the time. And I don't like telling people I can't help you, because we need to help these girls.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Dr. Charu ma'am and Professor Sheila Mishra ma'am and all the other panelists. I think there are no more questions. So we are now moving towards the pledge, and I now request Mr. Ashok Kumar, please help us in taking the pledge.
Thank you, Dr. Sambhavi, for giving me this opportunity to take the pledge. यह शपथ बालिका सुरक्षा के लिए अभिभावकों द्वारा है. हम भी अभिभावक हैं. हम सभी आज ये शपथ लेते हैं. ये शपथ लेंगे कि हम अपने सम्मान में, अपनी बेटी, अपनी बहनों के सम्मान में, अपनी माताओं के सम्मान में आगे से कोई भी ऐसा गलत कदम नहीं उठाएंगे, कोई भी ऐसा गलत कार्य नहीं करेंगे. तो इस शपथ के माध्यम से, सिर्फ ये शपथ यहाँ पर पढ़ने के लिए नहीं है, जैसा मैम ने भी बोला अभी, कि सिर्फ हम लोग इस लेक्चर को या इस तरीके के प्रोग्राम को एक इवेंट ना माने कि ठीक है एक टास्क था, कंप्लीट हो गया. छोटी छोटी टास्क है. यदि हम छोटे छोटे से कहते हैं एक एक बूंद से समुद्र भरता है, कि एक एक बूंद भी इकट्ठी करेंगे तो उससे भी आपका जो घड़ा है वो भर जाएगा. तो एक एक बूंद से हम एक एक चीज भी, यहाँ से एक मैसेज भी आज लेकर के चले जाएं कि हम अपने ही आप से, कि दूसरे को हम नहीं कह रहे कुछ भी अभी, कि सिर्फ हम आज एक इस प्लेस के थ्रू, इस लेक्चर के थ्रू सिर्फ हम इतना आज अपने आप को मोटिवेट कर ले कि आज के बाद हम किसी को कुछ नहीं कहेंगे. ठीक है कि आप किसी को सपोर्ट मत कीजिए, किसी को आप मत बचाइए, लेकिन कम से कम आप अपनी तरफ से ये कह दीजिए कि हम किसी के साथ गलत नहीं करेंगे. तो एक अच्छी शुरुआत वहां से करनी है. और ये सिर्फ पढ़ना ही नहीं है कि शपथ को पढ़ लिया खत्म हो गया. इस चीज को आपको अपने करियर में, आने वाले फ्यूचर में आपको इसको फॉलो भी करना है. तो स्टार्ट करते हैं हम लोग सभी. आई थिंक मेघना अनम्यूट है सभी बच्चे.
जी सर.
ओके. भारत के जिम्मेदार नागरिक के रूप में, मैं बोलूंगा पहले, आप लोग सभी प्रोनाउंस करेंगे उसके बाद. भारत के जिम्मेदार नागरिक के रूप में,
भारत के जिम्मेदार नागरिक के रूप में
मैं शपथ लेता हूँ,
मैं शपथ लेती हूँ
कि मैं अपने बेटे और बेटी में किसी प्रकार का भेदभाव नहीं करूंगी. मैं अपने बच्चों को बचपन से ही जीवन के नैतिक मूल्य सिखाऊंगा और उन्हें सही और गलत का भेद बताऊंगा। जिस प्रकार मैं अपनी बेटी को स्वयं की सुरक्षा के लिए ध्यान रखने को कहता हूँ, उसी प्रकार अपने बेटे को अनुशासन में रखते हुए उसकी भी दैनिक गतिविधियों का पूरा ध्यान रखूंगा। जय हिंद। थैंक यू।
I would now request Shashank Kirti, research scholar from Department of Statistics, call out the oath of the students. Shashank, over to you.
ओके, मैं भारत के जिम्मेदार नागरिक के रूप में
Somebody needs to repeat it after Shashank.
भारत के जिम्मेदार नागरिक के रूप में
और ये बॉय कोई दूसरा बॉय इसको रिपीट कर सकता है।
के रूप में
मैं शपथ लेता हूँ कि सदैव बालिकाओं व महिलाओं का सम्मान करूंगा और उनके अधिकारों की सुरक्षा करूंगा। मैं प्रत्येक एवं परोक्ष रूप से अपने कृत्यों, शब्दों तथा कर्मों से किसी बालिकाओं एवं महिलाओं के अधिकारों एवं मर्यादा का हनन नहीं होने दूंगा। मैं शपथ लेता हूँ कि मैं बालिकाओं एवं महिलाओं को उनके विकास के लिए समान अवसर प्रदान करने में अपना पूरा योगदान दूंगा। जय हिंद।
Thank you, Shashank. I would now request Dr. Shambhavi Mishra ma'am to present the vote of thanks.
Thank you, Meghna. With this, we come to the end of this interactive webinar. And I express my heartfelt gratitude to Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor Alok Kumar Rai, sir, for always encouraging and supporting us. Gratitude to Professor Tripta Trivedi, ma'am, Dean, Faculty of Science. This webinar would not have been in this shape without your participation, Charu, ma'am. Please accept our gratitude. I would also like to express my special thanks to Professor Sheila Mishra, ma'am, Chairman, ICC, University of Lucknow, and Coordinator of Mission Shakti campaign in University of Lucknow for all her initiatives and efforts towards this campaign. Thanks are also due to the head of the department, Professor Rajiv Pandey, sir, for organizing this 2 days webinar on such a sensitive issue in the department. I also express my gratitude to the faculty members of the department, Dr. Rajiv Saxena, Mr. Ashok Kumar, and all the others for their support. Thanks are also due to all the members of the ICC and Mission Shakti for joining us today, Dr. Kusum Yadav, ma'am, and all the others. Thanks to all the research scholars and students of the department for their active participation and in making this webinar a successful one. Thanks to the non-teaching staff as well of the department for their cooperation. Tomorrow, we will again be meeting at the same time, that is 3 p.m, for some more interesting and sensitizing discussions. So thank you to one and all, and stay safe. Thank you.